What's up, everybody? This is Mike Cox on Kicking It with Cuddy. Follow him on Instagram on Cuddy Season.
So now getting in the league, man, what's that? Yeah. What was it like your first year in it? Like,
yeah, no, it was difficult and fun at the same time. You know, just some parts were actually easier than college, and some parts were harder. So in college, it's kind of like, you know, you're working from 5 a.m., 6 a.m. every day till 10 p.m. at night, and then that's like almost every day you're doing that, right? And then you don't really get no vacations. Longest break you would get would be spring break. You get a week off.
Damn,
and that was the longest break. Yeah, like all summer you're there working, going to school, and that's all year round. And then going from that to the NFL, where obviously the players are better, it's more faster pace and all of that. And the playbook is definitely a lot more difficult, but everything else was kind of better because you didn't have to do school. You didn't have your schoolwork you had to worry about, and you also got way more time off. So it actually ended up being, a little bit more easier to manage, because it was like all you had to focus on was football. Word. And you had like time off and you got paid. So,
Right. I mean, that always works. Yeah. But even before, let's backtrack a little bit. And before getting into the league, you was the second to last pick. How did that feel? Because people might play even on a lower level, might play in school, and you that last person to get picked. And you're like, damn, am I gonna get picked? What was that feeling like? Just thinking through your head, like, is this gonna happen for me? Yeah. What was that like for you?
So with the draft, I mean, I was expecting to get drafted. I think like my draft.
You already knew it was. I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I think my like NFL grade or whatever was like a 3rd or 4th round pick. So I thought I was expected to be drafted around there, and then but I wasn't. I didn't have my hopes up too high. Like, okay, like, I'm definitely going to get drafted or whatever. I thought I had a good chance of getting drafted.
Have you seen people just go home from that? Like, out of your peers or friends, just go and end up just.
Not getting drafted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tons of them.
Happens.
Tons of them. Yeah, it happens all the time. Every
year. It's not
year.
A thought that's like out of this world. Like,
no,
when you're sitting there, you could just like end up having to just.
I seen guys that were supposed to get drafted in the 2nd round and don't get drafted at all. Like good friends of mine. And then at the same time, I've seen guys that weren't supposed to get drafted 2nd, 3rd round. So it's like you have a good idea, but at the same time, like unexpected things happen. So,
I feel that. So now you in the NFL, you playing hard. What's the life like as far as just the glamorous part of it? Now we talking about the injuries and stuff like that. We spoke on that. What was the life like? Just what people want to see, the fun times. What was that like for you?
Well, honestly, going to Michigan, it was really kind of similar to the NFL because Michigan is such school. Yeah, it's like a super, and it's all about football. Like everywhere you go, people just show you love. Going to restaurants, getting free stuff. Just
living that
everybody,
life.
Just everybody, everyone wants your autograph. Pictures and all that. Then NFL is really was kind of the same thing, just on a bigger scale. That was it. As opposed to just maybe being known. And that you're a city or you're a state or whatever, being known kind of everywhere. So that was kind of the biggest difference. But it was pretty similar though, honestly though.
Was you traveling before? You was traveling before for games and stuff like that? Yeah. Now you're traveling further, or is it kind of the same?
Pretty much the same thing, but just obviously in your free time, you have the money, you could travel to other places if you want to.
Yeah,
so.
That money is really what's talking.
Exactly,
So we talk about the glamorous life and all the fun stuff, and I talk about injuries and the raw stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got injured. You know what I'm saying? How'd that happen?
So we're playing Seattle a couple years back, and I was doing a swing route, and then Eli was going to go throw me the ball. It was kind of it was like a little check down kind of play, and the safety had read the play, before Eli even threw it. He kind of saw where the ball was going, and he's coming 100 miles per hour, and he threw it to me. And then I go to catch it, and he threw it behind my back, though, kind of. So I turned around, and I catch it, and my back's to the defense. Okay. So I knew he was coming before I even turned to go catch the ball. But, I'm like the type of guy, like, I play fearless. Like, I ain't worried about it. Like, I'm going to catch and worry about it later. Like, exactly. So I catch the ball, and then right when I land, it was really kind of a dirty play because it was a routine play for him. Like, because my whole back's to the defense. Like, he literally could have, pushed me out of bounds, like anything or whatever, and I land. And right as I landed, it was like a combination of, because he hit me real low. And so he hit me like real low, and exactly when my foot hit the ground. And so then, like shattered my leg, broke my ankle. It was like a whole bunch of stuff.
Couldn't even imagine what that pain was like, bro.
Yeah. Honestly,
oh my God.
Like, I mean, obviously it hurt a lot, but when it happened, like,
Your adrenaline's going.
Exactly. So, like, I knew right up because I heard it snap. Like, I felt it, all of that. And I wasn't really thinking about the pain. Like, I was more so just like, oh, man, like.
Something happened. Like,
yeah, like, am I going to be able to, to play again with this? Or, like, what's going on? Or I was more thinking about sort of, like, the injury than the actual pain of it. So I wasn't really, I was just like, dang, like, oh, man, I hope this is as bad as, I think it is or whatever. So
then you got through it. What was like the healing process? Just what was going through your mind sitting home just like, damn, like my shit's fucked up? Like,
yeah, well, I saw a lot of guys have had similar injuries to me, and a lot of them came back and are actually still playing. Like, for example, like Vince Carter, he had a very similar injury to me. Yeah. Actually, same doctor that I got too. Oh, nice. And Odell had like a similar injury to me. As you see, he's back and playing and stuff. Right. So, I saw different scenarios like that, and the doctors are expecting me to come back in 6 or 7 months. But actually, I'm in a lawsuit actually right now with one of the doctor that did my ankle or whatever, but it's kind of another story. But
we're gonna get to
yeah.
I feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you're home and you're just like going through it. You know what I'm saying? What would you, if you had any advice to give to somebody kind of going through that in a smaller scale, high school, college? What would you tell them? A kid that's sitting home in a cast right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My advice is just stick with your rehab. Do what the doctor tells you to do, and just. I don't know, just don't take time off. Like, don't push it, don't do too much, but at the same time, you don't want to do too little. You want to do what the doctor says and, keep up with your rehab and, making sure you do what you're supposed to do what the doctor tells you to do, just so you come back, as fast and safe as possible.
Right. You don't want to, put anything else in jeopardy.
Exactly.
And taking more time off. You know
exactly. Yeah. Because sometimes, guys might come back, like too early or something, and then, end up like re-hurting it, or, on the other scale might just, not take rehab seriously and not, do what they're supposed to do.
Bro.
Yeah.
And then end up on the floor somewhere.
Yeah,
like, damn, like, what happened? Like,
yeah.
Word. So now, 2019, I'm saying you making moves internationally. Can you tell us what's going on right now?
I have a couple companies, so I've been working a lot on that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nance tell me about he had that million number. What's going on with that? We talking millions now for businesses? We talking millions?
That's what I'm trying to do, but
as you should.
Well, millions is my favorite number since I was a little kid. So it's always been.
When did you learn a million? Because I feel like I didn't know what the number million until like middle school. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't know.
I always knew it. Like, I don't know whether it was a commercial or something, or like like, oh, you just won $1 million. Just
so you ready?
Something like
you
that.
was always had your mind ready for
like
for the big things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's always been I felt like whenever you hear it, it's always usually something good.
Like So
you know
what I'm saying
it's always been my favorite number.
Word. So as far as football, how we doing now? What we doing? How we doing?
Yeah, actually, we're trying to see right now, but I've had 3 surgeries on my ankle, so I've been kind of dealing with that. So. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna see.
Is it in the near future, far future?
I might get a surgery actually next week. So
good luck on that.
We'll see. Man. Yeah.
Man, but I know your hopes, your spirits are still high. You know what I'm saying? You're moving around getting money. You know what I'm saying? So the grind don't stop, man.
Yeah.
Anything else you would want to tell anybody in a similar situation coming up, just like that don't really have a direction of where they're going, what could be their next move, or how do I handle this?
My tip is just, ideally, obviously, you do want to have a backup plan, because a lot of time people, will just think they'll have like their one thing they want to go for it. Then it's like, oh, I don't have no backup plan or nothing. And that can be a good mindset because you do want to be super focused on what you're doing. Yeah, you want to be all in, but at the same time too, you want to have it whether like it's in sports don't last forever. So, eventually it's going to have to stop. And so you should have that backup plan for when it does stop, or at least have an idea. And so when that day does come, which it will come, that, you're ready to move on to that next chapter and, make it a lot more smooth than opposed to, not doing no type of research or nothing at all. And just being like,
scrambling, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bills,
exactly. So definitely, at least start that process early because it'll make it so much easier for when it does come, as opposed to just trying to figure it all out when it's, when you have to do it.
Word. Yeah. I like that advice right there. And I think that could go across boards on anybody. I'm saying if you're doing one thing, always just don't keep all your eggs in one basket. That's what they like to say.
Yeah.
Word, man. Michael Cox Jr., man, I thank you for coming through, kicking it with your boy, man. I appreciate you. We rocking, man.